All right, welcome to the Dirt Kicker Podcast. I'm Jayce Thompson.
I'm Caleb Crabtree. Today we're kicking the dirt on the state of glyphosate.
That's going to be a fun topic. All right, well, welcome back. Today we're going to kick the dirt on glyphosate, and it seems to be a pretty hot topic right now. You've got a lot of uncertainty in the industry surrounding that with RFK Jr., looking at banning what he calls pesticides, which we call herbicides. Pesticides kill pests, which I guess weeds are pests.
They're a pest, yep. You can ask any farmer if they're a pest. They certainly are.
So the question on my mind is, if glyphosate does get banned, what's that look like for the farmer?
Well, it looks a lot like non-GMO herbicide programs is what it looks like, which, from my experience, have been a lot more effective than just glyphosate.
Probably because we haven't overused them for 20 years, maybe?
That's my personal experience.
So glyphosate's kind of been the go-to weed killer for 2 decades.
A lot of years.
Or longer.
Longer than I've been alive.
And that's incorrect.
Well, when was Roundup Ready corn introduced?
94. 92?
I thought it was in the 80s.
Maybe. I don't know.
Look it up.
We'll look it up. You'll let us know if we're wrong.
There you go.
So we're going to talk about this. Its effectiveness is declining. That's...
Yeah. I don't... Every year we talk to more and more farmers that I've got resistant weeds to glyphosate, grasses, broadleaves, I mean, you name it.
And for the cost of traits, which we kind of hit on last episode, but we didn't really talk about it in detail, trait royalties are on top of the genetic royalties from the big ag companies.
They're really proud of their traits, by the way.
Yes.
We'll say they price those traits as if they're extremely proud of them.
Yes. And yeah. So
probably can't get into specific amounts.
Can't get into specific amounts because you start getting into some iffy water there.
We'll just say with non-GMO corn, you can get near half.
Yeah, half the cost.
What traded corn costs.
Yep. And so currently we use glyphosate. It's an herbicide. It's a non-selective herbicide, which just means it'll kill everything.
Yeah, it does not select what it kills. It's just going to kill it all.
Yeah, unless you have a Roundup Ready or
resistant to it,
glyphosate tolerant trait.
Yeah, I think you can use Roundup.
Can I say Roundup Ready? Roundup Ready. I'm going to say it. If we can't, we'll take it out.
Roundup is a brand name for glyphosate.
Yeah, and then since the 90s, heavy use has kind of led to it just doesn't really work. We've got glyphosate resistant Johnson grass, for instance. We have to use a nicosulfuron or some other sort of chemistry to kill that.
Or a combination with a nicosulfuron.
Yep.
Sulfonylurea.
And then we can't talk about this topic without talking about the Bayer lawsuits.
Yes. I mean, that's a big part of the state of glyphosate. What's Bayer with Roundup? They're like 40% thereabouts of the market of glyphosate. Yeah. And it's not. It's public information. I'm guessing that the CEOs come out and said that the days of Roundup may be numbered in months rather than years. Right. That level of ban or not a ban, but a removal of supply from the market would cause a huge shortage. Right. I mean, no doubt. I mean, what's that going to do?
40% of the Roundup's not going to be available.
So what's the point of having Roundup Ready corn if you can't spray Roundup on it?
Well, and then the other day, I was telling you guys, I went to Walmart to get some Roundup to spray my driveway. Yeah. And there is no glyphosate in any of the Roundup at our Walmart. Now, I don't know if that's across the country. I just know that was here.
It still has the brand name Roundup, but does not have glyphosate in
but
it.
is no longer containing glyphosate. Right. No. So in 2015, the World Health Organization classified glyphosate as a possible carcinogen. But the EPA came out and said that it's safe.
Yeah. I guess it just depends on whose science you believe.
Right. So
we could go into conspiracy there.
Hey, that's my favorite pastime.
I mean, who came up with the studies that said it was safe?
Right.
Who funded those?
Yeah, and that would be
there's some controversy around
right.
that, possibly.
There's definitely some controversy surrounding around that. That is for sure. So, in countries like Mexico, they've restricted glyphosate.
Yep.
Citing health risks.
Yeah.
So clearly they didn't believe the science that came out of the EPA.
And I guess at this point, does it even really matter? I mean,
right.
It appears glyphosate's days are numbered.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative?
It would appear that it would be conventional herbicides that are safe for non-GMO corn.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we've talked about this, and I've talked with a lot of other farmers, and in their post sprays, most of the time, glyphosate is not in a post spray.
It's not in it. Yeah.
And most of a lot of them just don't know that it's not even in there because they're having a co-op spray or they're having a retail ag.
And
place.
they don't know until they get their bill,
right.
or whatever. But yeah.
So impact on farmers on a potential ban or a tax on glyphosate.
Or a restriction of supply.
You're talking, it's going to go up in cost.
Oh, by a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So your glyphosate's going to get...
Supply and demand, yeah.
Right. Your glyphosate's going to get way more expensive. The traits are never going to go down in cost.
Yeah, they're only going to go up in cost.
Right.
Like I said, they're very proud of those traits.
Yes, they are. I would have to agree with that.
They're highly effective traits.
Highly effective traits. And so a ban may sound daunting at first, where we've relied so heavily on glyphosate-tolerant traits. We've relied heavily on glyphosate itself. But cost-effective, high-performing non-GMO hybrids, they're out there. We have some.
Yes, I'll tell you this. I have not seen a yield drag from a non-GMO versus a traded.
No. And on that topic, if there is a difference in yield on a side-by-side from a non-GMO to the traded version of that same hybrid, those two plots were usually not treated
the same.
And what I mean by that is you treated them the same. You put insecticide in furrow, you put down insecticide and fungicide on your non-GMO, but you also did that on your traded hybrid, which means you just now made that traded hybrid never express its protein, which means it never had to utilize the energy to do what it was designed to do.
If you don't need the trait, why are you using it?
Right. If you're already going to be using insecticides, why do you need an insect trait? That's the question.
And a lot of times we talk to guys who say they have to have the traits. They're also using insecticide.
Yep.
And my question there is, if you drop the trait and continue using the insecticide, which one is pulling most of the weight?
Yeah, which one's doing all the work?
Which one's doing all the work?
Right. So that brings us into our next topic of transitioning over from traded corn into non-GMO corn. And in our experience, which at this point, fairly limited, but we are across several thousand acres.
Yeah.
And have talked with several hundred farmers. And across the board, what we find out is most of them are already doing a non-GMO program.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the worst part, if you were to lose glyphosate, would be in your pre-emergence spray. I mean, that's... Most of them aren't using it in the post, so you're not using the Roundup Ready trait in your corn anyway. So you could save costs there. But losing a cheap, glyphosate option in your pre, when you're mixing it with something else, that would probably be the worst part of it.
Right. There's other options.
And there are other options.
There's a lot of other options.
There are other
on burn down.
options that are either close in cost or are the same cost.
Well, and you also got to factor in there's a vast majority of people that are doing crop rotation. They're controlling the insect pressure with crop rotation
and weed pressure.
and weed pressure.
Yeah, you're using a different set of herbicides in your soybeans than you are your corn.
Yep. And then with soybeans, you got rye, wheat, so on and so forth. You got a bunch of options,
etc.
So there's other market opportunities for non-GMO corn. Let's be honest, traded corn's over 90% of the corn that's sold out there.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away.
Yeah. From the numbers that I've heard, non-GMO is 8%.
Right. So you're talking 92% traded corn in North America, not just North America, because Mexico and Canada are a lot stricter on their traits. But non-GMO corn, you can get a premium. Management.
Occasion, not every time.
Yeah, right. You have the opportunity for premium if you can find an elevator that offers that, and you can treat it the same way as you do. It's
just you're removing the glyphosate or the glufosinate.
Right.
That's it.
And what it is it's not fragile. I think non-GMO corn, sometimes people think this is a thing that just can't handle the stressors of farming, and it's like that's not what this is. When we're not talking about organic,
right?
Where you got to do tillage and
the options for organic are highly limited.
Yes,
I mean, let's be honest. There are ways. I mean, and it normally involves cover crops, and some of those are very effective.
Yeah.
But I think there's a myth out there with some people anyway. I've heard this. You can't even spray herbicide on non-GMO corn.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
That is not true. Right. So switching from non-GMO doesn't mean you're starting from scratch. It literally just means you're cutting out one piece
and
that you're used to.
If you use a stress-tolerant hybrid like UnBranded Seed,
right,
then a lot of times you're starting from an advantage. Because we've had to breed it in environments that have had those pest problems,
right?
Without the trait, and so a lot of times we have natural resilience to these kinds of things.
Yep. And so being able to help some people switch over, we've done some preemptive legwork on the best sort of conventional herbicides that we can use in non-GMO corn. And actually, the legwork was going and finding the study that Iowa State University did. So
we just did a little bit of research.
We did some research.
We are a research company.
Company. So we have hybrids. We develop hybrids that are stress-tolerant, disease-resistant. We have regularly seen that our disease resistance in our lineup is higher than the checks that we utilize, and we use the checks from all the big seed companies. So
bring them in from each one of the big companies.
Right. It doesn't do any good for us to do testing and test against ourselves and be better than we are.
We've got to be better than our competition.
We got to be as good or better than the competition. And the biggest thing that we get to kind of hang our hats on is that we can bring you something that is competitive or better, has a better disease resistance, more stress tolerance,
better,
right? But 30% less, on the low end.
Yeah, that's conservative,
right?
Yeah, depending on what trait stack, I guess, that you're going up against.
Yeah, if you're going up a fully traded, is
rootworm trait,
right?
Which it's got to be dual mode of action below ground if you're getting a rootworm trait, and those are
pricey bags of corn.
They're really proud of those rootworm traits that are highly effective.
I have heard on public forums of those bags costing upwards of $400. Yep. So with us, and we're not the only one out there.
Right. And there's we work with several partnership with several really good ones that are out there.
Right. Other independent breeders that are out there that are doing the same thing that we're doing. What they're not doing is the stress breeding. They don't They don't.
That's kind of unique.
That's
a little
unique
bit to us.
Yeah.
And another myth out there is that the independent breeders just aren't very good at this. And I can tell you for a fact that there are some really good ones out there, and we work with a lot of them.
We do work with a lot of those. And the other thing is that we forget is that all of your big companies started out as independent breeding programs, and then were eventually bought up by chemical programs.
They eventually consolidated into a big ag company.
Yep. So that's today's episode of Dirt Kicker Podcast. I am Jayce Thompson. This is Caleb Crabtree.
I'm Jayce Fields.
Had to get it in there. So today we explored glyphosate, the challenges that it's facing, and its potential ban. At the very least, it looks like they're going to be shutting down production from Bayer anyway. And then we talked about the efficacy of non-GMO herbicides and how we do have solutions that can be brought into this for a smaller cost. And then next week we are talking about
corn traits and alternatives.
We're going to talk more about corn traits and the alternatives to them. So we thank you for joining us today. Take a look at us at unbrandedseed.com. Give us a call, and you'll get to talk to me.
we